What's up, everybody? This is Aristotle back with another video, and today we're going to be building a super compact, super efficient kelp farm, and that's why I'm standing on the bottom of the ocean. But this isn't where we want to be, so come on, let's go. All right, so we're back in my redstone world, and right behind me here is a tiny version of a standard kelp farm. Let's take a quick tour and see why this isn't the best version of what we can do. Okay, so this farm has 32 plants in it total, and just like any kelp farm, we let the broken kelp float up to the top, so thereby every layer we do, we have to scale back one, and then again, and then again, and then again, onwards and upwards. And that's so we can use water to sweep the floating kelp right off the top and into a collection system here. What this means is the building is usually pretty bulky, and you do have a limit to how high you can go. Otherwise, you're going to have to really finagle this top, as you know, your water stream can only really be about 8 blocks long. That's not what we're going to be building today. We're going to be building a much tighter format, and so I'm going to show you this cool little module here. It only takes up a 6x10 footprint for every 8 plants, and we can build it as high as we like, as vertical as we like, and we never get wider than that unless we want to. But before we start building, we should talk about the science. So I'm going to put the materials list up on the screen now, and let's talk kelp. All right, so kelp will grow on just about any block, even soul sand right down at the bottom. When kelp is placed, generated, or the block at the top is broken, the base kelp here will generate a number between 0 and 24, and that is the kelp's age. You'll notice that on the right hand side where it says targeted block on the screen, you'll see age 25. That means that the base plant was given the number 24. And the problem is kelp can only grow to 25. So as it added a block, it stopped. So this is actually as high as this block's going to get. Now, if we come on over to this guy and this guy, you'll see we all have age 25s here. So this is something that we're going to need to talk about as we go through. Now you'll notice this block right here has an age of 17, which means the next block will be 18 and then 19 and so on. Now we're going to break it before it gets up that high. But every time you break a block just like this and we go down, the new block at the bottom gets an age. And in this case, this one's 24, so that one was 23. It grew up too quick. So let's try this one here. So this is age 25. So if we break this top one, the new one got assigned a new number, an age of 13. So that'll grow 14 and then 15 and then boom, it'll get broken. Coming into the farm and breaking the top block, you'll be able to reset everything, and 99% of the time you're going to get an age that is appropriate where it can grow high enough and keep growing again. No matter what style of kelp farm you build, you're going to have to do a little maintenance, and it's as easy as just breaking the top blocks. Just like that. And that will reset the ages of the bottom blocks, and off you go. Some other facts about kelp are, it's a good early game food. It gives very little health, but you can eat it dried, and you can dry it in a furnace or a smoker. And in fact, use the smoker if you can, because it dries a lot faster. It can also be crafted into kelp blocks. By putting 9 pieces of dried kelp in the crafting bench here, you can grab yourself 1 kelp block. Now, you can fire up furnaces, smokers, just about anything that, you know, cook stuff with a kelp block, and it will cook 20 items. In fact, you can use kelp to dry out kelp just like that. Same thing with smelting ores in any of these. In fact, I prefer it as a fuel source over coal, as it's much more efficient. So these are built in modules. You can make the modules as wide as you like. You can take them up to 16, 32 plants even if you like. I did mine in 8 plant modules. So there's 8 plants on the bottom one, and then I stacked 2 more modules on the top on this particular one. In the build I'm going to show you today, there's 8 modules total. I'm going to put them back to back because you can, so I can utilize the same collection system, but you can stack them vertically, side by side, back to back, just any way you'd like. So let me show you how to build the first module. Okay, so we're going to dig a 2x8 trench, just like this. And then we're going to line it with my building blocks. Now that that's in, I'm going to line the front with glass all the way across, and then I'm going to make it 4 high. And then for the end, I'm going to come up with my building blocks and create a border on the outside. Now, moving behind the glass to stand on my building blocks here, I'm going to create a 2x8 platform, just like this. And on the front of these blocks, I'm going to put my pistons facing towards the glass. Okay, so this is what it should look like right now. Now, coming around back behind, I'm going to put my observers right on top of my pistons. And then I'm going to put a row of blocks coming right out of the back of my observers. On the front wall, I'm going to pop a horizontal line of building blocks. With that done, I'm going to come down to the side here, and I'm going to go 2 blocks back, just like this, right on up. Make certain to do it on both sides. On the back of the row of the blocks with the observers, I'm going to place my temporary blocks, and then I'm going to pop down fence gates just like this, and then make certain to open them all up. Over here on the sides, you're going to want to fill in those 2 blocks just like this and that. All right, let's fill this thing up. Coming across the bottom, you can just spam water. Obviously, if you're doing this in survival, you're going to have to refill your buckets, but by placing the water sources on the first and the third block, you can create an infinite water source and then go through. I like to save the redstone wiring till the end, just because I don't like those pistons going off and smashing me up. Now, once you've got it as high as the observers, you just pop water right on the back of this glass right here, and the fence, and it'll fill in, and the fence gates will stop it from spilling over. And then it's at this point you can take out your temporary blocks. And there you go. Put your redstone dust right on the back of the pistons here. With the redstone dust on the back of the piston row, just like this, it'll allow each of the pistons to fire individually, which, if you've seen my sugarcane video, check it out if you haven't. It's an excellent thing to do for the efficiency of all piston-powered farms. Okay, now that that level's in, we can start prepping for our next level. So you're going to take and over those water source blocks there for the flowing water, pop a level like that, take a temporary block, and then create a 2x8 platform. Just like that. And that's where our pistons are going to sit. And then line the front with glass. Take it up 4 high and repeat the entire process all over again. Okay, so here's a look at 2 levels stacked up. I haven't planted the plants yet. And if you're doing this in survival, that's something you might want to think about doing as you keep moving along. Just because it can be quite a pain to get inside, just being as you'll have to come in through the back here just like this, and then swim in and get down there to plant everything. So you might want to do that before you pop a level on the next level. But I'm going to build this up so it's 4 tall, and then we're going to show you the collection system and the backside of this whole thing. Okay, so there's 4 levels in, or 4 modules, which are going to be 32 plants. I am going to build a backside onto this guy, but I wanted to show you something first. Okay, once we put plants in this thing, it's going to start spitting them out and they're going to start flying. So what you need to do is put a ring right around the fence gates just like this, so that the plants will move forward, hit the back wall. Now, because some of the plants come out a little lower, you just have to drop it down by an extra block so that it's 2 just like this, and that's enough to get them to line up directly with whatever collection system you want to put directly under these fence gates. So I'm going to do that for the others and then get right back to you. Okay, now that those rings are in, just for looks, I'm going to fill in these little bits right down up here, these little corners. Go ahead and fill in anything that you want to. You, of course, can use a better color palette than I've got going right now, but I'm going to decorate this thing up at the end and show you how this can look. And then just go through on each level and plant your kelp right on the bottom block. Okay, and once you've reached top height on any set of modules, just top it off with a half slab of your choice to prevent spawns. And it is a wise idea to cover the entire top. So if you're just doing a vertical build, this is how everything should look. But I'm going to kind of do these back to back and create a whole nother side. So I'm going to make some changes to the back here. Okay, so there's 8 modules total of 8 plants each, totaling 64 plants. Let's go do our collection system. Okay, so you can get as fancy as you want with this thing. I'm just going to do chests and hoppers myself. Keep it simple, you know what I mean? So I'm going to line up 8 double chests just like this, and on each side I'm going to pop a hopper, or actually 2 hoppers, into each one. And of course, these are lined up with the fence gates all the way up and down, and then just kind of go through on each side, just like this. All right, now let's sit an hour and see how we do. Okay, so we're going through the test right now, and I noticed I was getting some kelp hanging up just in the corner there. And just to be certain that we don't lose anything, I filled in these open squares with glass blocks, but you can also use any type of building block that you like. Okay, so we are finished with that hour. Let's go see how we did. Okay, almost a stack and a half in the first chest. Just under, a little over a stack. Just under half a stack, and about 14 shy of a stack there. Let me do some math and add these up. 450 pieces of kelp, and that translates to 7 stacks in 1 hour, which is pretty darn good. Now, just like any kelp farm, though, this will, the efficiency of this will drop down as more and more of these plants wind up with a 24 growth rate. So just like any farm that you build, you need to go in and just kind of clean house every once in a while to keep that efficiency way up. I'm Aristotle, and this has been the compact, super efficient kelp farm. Have a good night. Well, let's get cracking. What? Where am I? Hey, wait. This isn't my kelp farm. Oh, hey boys, are we gonna play some football? Ah! Nobody said hike! I got a slime ball, what do I do? Run! And there goes Aristotle, he's at the 30, he's at the 20, he's at the 10, and touchdown! Touchdown, Aristotle! Kansas City absolutely destroyed Tampa Bay. There's nothing left on that field except for some slime balls. And just listen to that crowd go wild. I'm just excited for the Super Bowl. Y'all have a good night now.